To start with, the cover art for this is super deceptive. The shading is super dynamic, and there's a clear distinction between pieces of their hair. However, within the series itself, the art is much flatter. There's usually zero shading in the hair, and because both characters have black hair, it looks like they've just got big chunky ink stains on their heads. There's also minimal shading on their faces and on certain body parts, which just looks bad. Add in some crooked fingers and massive feet, and this is one of the most inconsistent and chaotic art styles I've read in a while. It has beautiful aspects to it, and I'm reading another ongoing title as I record this by the same artist that is much more consistent, so I know they are capable of it. However, this is just not a good showing for them. And if that's not bad enough, this story is just as chaotic. We'll get into some narrative chaos later on, but to start with, the relationship between Yanwoo and Jiangwoo is wild. They are adopted brothers, and Jiangwoo is that annoying tsundere type where they act like assholes and are bullies, even in the face of complete kindness, which Yanwoo embodies. Until he randomly decides to rape Jiangwoo. Yanwoo is the bottom, not that that makes a difference, but it is so random and totally out of character for Yanwoo to be so loving and adoring to Jiangwoo, only to tie him up, blindfold him, and then rape him before running off to enlist. It made no sense to me. Then, as if that wasn't weird enough, when they reunite, Jiangwoo then rapes Yanwoo. This is a quote-unquote love story between two rapists. I'm a fan of non-con, but this was just really weird and out of character to me, at least for Yanwoo. But it's even more confusing than that. We end up with a weird time thing. Yanwoo and Jiangwoo are apart for 5 years. Then Yanwoo goes into a dungeon that locks up until all humans within die or they kill the boss. So time for those in the dungeon freezes. When this starts, Yanwoo is a year older than Jiangwoo, but when the dungeon does finally reopen, 10 years have passed in the outside world, so Jiangwoo is essentially 9 years older than Yanwoo. I hate these weird time pocket storylines. They can definitely work, but this was just one more drop of confusion amid an already super confusing story. And yes, I'm sure it doesn't sound all that confusing at this point, but let me explain. Hunters are essentially superhuman. Easy, understandable, cool. Well, in the time Yanwoo was in his dungeon pocket dimension, Jiangwoo suddenly awakened as a hunter, donated himself to science, and unlocked what is essentially a deeper level of power that manifests in video game menus, experience points, level ups, and the like. It could be cool, but it's explained through information dumps, which is unfortunate. Then Yanwoo, who knows nothing about this world, is pressured into awakening this same power, as if he had any way of doing so or knew how. All of this takes place within 25 episodes, which is far too short for something this detailed, expansive, action-packed, etc. My head was spinning throughout this ordeal, and by the time it was over, none of it was any clearer or more enjoyable.